Whew. Okay, third cup of coffee this
Oh,
morning.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Late night. Wow, I can't stand these late games, but I gutted it out, Barry. Might have dozed off a little bit, but I had to see Auburn pull it out, get that win after been kind of a tough road, and Stephen Pearl's team dug down deep. If you went to sleep, you missed a good ending.
Well, it is Longshore and McKnight. He's John Longshore. What you don't see in his camera scene, is one of those big old rolling hospital hook things that has got coffee mainlining into his bloodstream right now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. It plays a little bit different when you're out there in your Whopper Junior boxers out in the car in the driveway at 11:30 at night when that one wrapped up.
And I want to thank Auburn, Barry, because I never felt like the game was in jeopardy. It was getting tense and tight, that there would be things I needed to listen to on the radio. So I really appreciate the team pulling it through, holding on, getting a much needed win. And Bruce was there supporting the team and his son.
And again,
does Bruce not sit down during the game? I noticed they just showed him. He's over standing up in the corner over there.
He never sat down when he was coaching. Why should he sit down now? You know, Auburn ends up winning last night. Alabama ends up losing last night.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly.
And I imagine John's phone wasn't nearly as active.
You know, now that you bring it up, where are all my friends?
Hello?
Are we in a fight? Are we fighting? What's going on here?
Hello? You know, what's he doesn't take this personally. Auburn played at home. They win against LSU. It wasn't really, like John said, it wasn't really a whole lot of angst and anxiety and all of that. I did not see the game. By the way, I am in a hotel room in C.J. Duncan country. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee right now. Troy baseball plays this afternoon at 3:00 against Vanderbilt, who has lost 3 in a row, I think, in baseball. But we were riding on the bus up here, and I didn't get a chance to watch Auburn versus LSU, but I was checking social media on the bus. And, John, they say there were significant swaths of empty seats
at
Neville Arena. 9:00 tonight, 9:00 at night. They've been on They've been on a losing streak. They're taking on a nondescript LSU team. Auburn was favored by like 10.5 in that game. And Auburn ends up winning it 88-74. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of meanwhile.
Yeah. Well, I do, since you brought it up, I wasn't going to touch on that today.
I don't believe that for not even a millisecond.
I saw some glaring gaps in the seating areas at Neville Arena last night. Now, I will give them credit. The architects that designed that facility, the cameras really, majority of the time only show the fans that are like near the floor. You don't get a broad view of Neville Arena, but every now and then the camera will kind of swipe up there a little bit, accidentally, I would imagine. And I did see large gaps of orange seats. But hey, Tuesday night, 9:00, losing streak, I get it. I'm not here to, hate on anybody. I completely get it. I was in boxer shorts, kicked up in a lazy boy, watching it on TV in the comfort of my own home.
The way that it's portrayed is probably just as important as, hey, they set up the arena to look like there's a lot of people in the stands. And it wasn't bad. I'm not getting it's just, it wasn't, they sell it out. Kind of let you know a little bit. Auburn wins it 88-74. Auburn's now 16-14. They haven't updated our CBS bracketology yet from yesterday when Auburn was one of the last 4 out. But again, to me, it doesn't really matter. If they do get in, they're not going to do much. The tone of the game was pretty standard. Auburn, led from the get-go. Had a couple of guys score really well. Pettiford played well. Meanwhile, in Athens, Georgia, in the worst gymnasium in the league.
And again, that floor is terrible. It's hard to watch a game on that floor.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Some Georgia athletic administrator stood up there, like row 45 and looked down when they were painting it or whatever.
Yeah.
Perfect. Don't change a thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly the look we like. Go ahead and wax it. Let's go with it. It's awful. Georgia ends up beating Alabama 98-88 last night.
Barry, I'm not so sure this Alabama team, how should I put it, was maybe all in last night. No, I think
that's what Nate said.
I'm not sure. I think that's already been used before, but let me use it just to explain the situation. Okay. There was a time in the game last night with about 25 seconds left before halftime.
Yes.
Alabama only had 4 players on the floor.
For an entire possession. I mean, if it happens like, oh, holy smokes, man, who's in charge of making sure we have the right number of players on the – I mean, like yesterday, there were 2 games in the SEC of note in that regard. Kentucky loses pretty badly to Texas A&M at Texas A&M. Kentucky had a stretch where they had 6 players on the floor.
Now the
referees never noticed it. The referees, I mean, they went for a little while, and the referees are like, Bucky McMillan, the head coach at Texas A&M, was screaming at him. They ignored him. They've got 6 players. And so anyway, it didn't help Kentucky. Some of the Kentucky fans on social media said we could have played 8. We wouldn't have won that game.
Yeah.
But Alabama, they had a stretch where they had 4 players on the team. And you know what? That was one of their best defensive stretches of the game.
How about that?
With only 4 players. What does that tell you?
That reminds me of YMCA basketball, Barry. You'd always have that game where, little Joey wouldn't show up. And the ref's going, you playing, coach? Yeah. I said, well, all I got's 4. Well, you better put your 4 out there against this guy. Then if you were playing a real jerk that was coaching the other team, he wouldn't play 4. He'd play 5. Okay, I admit it. That was me. When it happened the other way around, I always played 5. That was that guy's problem, not mine.
You're a stickler for the rules. The rules say you've got to put 5 players out there. That's all I'm trying to do. It seems like Nate Oates is on a streak. He got another technical last night.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I think he's on like 4 or 5 in a row or something. I don't know. But the deal there was they didn't play very well defensively. Georgia scores 98 points in the game. They did not. I think John's synopsis is eerily appropriate. They just weren't all in. They did not play very hard, especially on the defensive end. And there are times, admit it, when Alabama just doesn't look like they really care that much about defense. Couple of things about that game. Phylon, who they say, Nate has said he's not going to be 100% physically, probably for the rest of the year. He's just going to have to play through it.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the way he plays when he's not 100%, I'd love to see it when he's finally healthy, because he had 26 last night. Georgia had it.
And there again, the eye test, I need to look at the stat sheet, which I'm not a big fan of.
I've got it.
They seem to have a lot of threes that clanged off the iron last night. They couldn't zero in their shot very well.
Well, they missed 26 of them. They were 16 of 42 from three-point range. They took 42 three-point shots. They took 22 two-point shots. They got out-rebounded by 10 in that game. They had a 6'9" kid. I think he's a sophomore for Georgia. He ends up with 32. 6'9" forward. His name's Kenan Catchings. And Catchings is a good player, but he ain't that good. He had 32. And it's not as though, he was just attacking the rim or anything like that. He had 7 3-pointers. Sooner or later, somebody's got to say, hey, let's keep that kid from shooting all those 3-pointers. Didn't happen necessarily.
No.
And so Bama,
tough loss.
Yeah,
but man, that's 10-point loss. I mean, that's ugly. That's not good. I mean,
Georgia,
okay, you have a little lapse. You've been on the road, second or two road. I mean, I could give you all the excuses. Big win against Tennessee, celebrating in the locker room up in Knoxville, dousing the head coach with water, all excited. Then you got to have the quick turnaround and go to Athens. It happened to Auburn last week. They had a quick turnaround as well last week. You saw what happened. Not to compare, but
that's a valid point, though, John, because after the game, Nate Oates says his team wasn't ready to play. And he said, listen, if you don't have the mental toughness to make that, what John's talking about, if you don't have the mental toughness to make that quick turnaround on the road and get ready to play 2 nights later, then we're going to have a hard time. John, that's tournament play.
Yeah.
If you don't like, if you like having a nice rest after a game, get a couple of days, get the kinks out, get the old body healed up and get ready to go again. If you ain't getting that, guess what? You ain't going to do too well in the tournament. So he's trying to get the mental toughness. I think is not bad for Alabama, but they've got another level they need to get to. And I think this is also good.
It kind of reminds me, Barry, maybe they're getting ready for the NBA, because a lot of times there's a lot of quick turnarounds in the NBA, and you'll see a team that, like Oklahoma City, who's one of the best in the NBA, blows somebody out, and the next night they get blown out. You're going, well, wait a minute. This team's supposed to be really good. Well, it's their third of 4 road games in a row, and they just didn't check in today. Huh.
I think it's also a good point from Bob from Pike Road. He says Bama struggles when their opponents have dominant front courts. And that's true. I don't think it was necessarily all that Georgia just blew them out on the front line. The kid Catchings, who's 6'9", he was shooting a lot of 3-pointers. But I think he's exactly right. Alabama got out-rebounded by double digits in that game. This was one stat thing. And I don't want to, you guys are just waking up. I don't want to put you back to sleep with stats. Here's one stat thing. Aiden Sherrill, pretty good player. He's 6'10", 6'11", something like that for Alabama. 12 points in the game. Played very efficiently. But this is hard to do. After Aiden Sherrill, Betty Yako could help. There's no doubt, but that ship has sailed.
Mm-hmm.
This stat line jumps out at me. Noah Williamson, who everybody dogs, and he's a great kid. He's from Latvia or someplace like that. 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. I think he's a transfer a couple of years back for Alabama from Bucknell.
Okay.
Here's his line score from last night.
Well, what is his jersey number? Does it have
15.
That on there? Okay, yeah, okay. I know the kid you're talking about. Yep, okay.
He's about 6'11", 7 feet. Transferred in from Bucknell. Noah Williamson last night played 9 minutes.
Huh.
And he's the backup behind Sherrill. They need some help. He played 9. Sherrill played 27. In 9 minutes, Noah Williamson, he had, in 9 minutes, at 7 feet.
Okay.
No rebounds.
Uh-huh.
No shots.
Okay.
No free throws.
Ooh.
No blocks.
Mm-hmm.
His only stat line in 9 minutes was 1 turnover and 1 personal foul.
Son,
that
come
was
on.
it.
On the stat sheet, does it have attempted shots on the stat sheet?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't take a shot. He did at 7 feet.
Yeah.
He did not take a shot. He did not get a rebound. In the stat line, and I knew this because this was my situation when I played basketball. They call that a trillion. That's like on the stat line, and you know what a basketball stat sheet looks like. You got the 1 followed by 7 zeros behind your name. They call that a trillion. Man, that guy got a trillion. That means a 1 with nothing but zeros. That means you played 1 minute, didn't do anything. Well, this guy almost had a trillion. He had 9 minutes.
Ooh.
Never took a shot. He's just running up and down the court and everything. He ends up fouling somebody, and then later on he ends up turning the ball over. That's it. They are not going to do well in the NCAA tournament when your backup center plays 9 minutes and doesn't do a single thing.
Yeah, they better try to get Bediako back however they can, because I'm with you. I mean, look, son, give me 5 minutes with this kid. You're getting limited minutes anyway. When you get them, you got to take advantage of it. Shoot, foul. I mean, crash the boards. You got to just make your presence known. At one sequence in the game last night, he's in the game and Phylon's dribbling and looks at him like, what are you doing? I mean, you could just tell his look is like, no, you go that way, not that way.
At least get out of my way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, no kidding. The guy didn't know where he was going. And what's the best way to describe it? His movement on the floor is not very fluid. He seems a little unsure of where he's going. His feet are kind of hopping and dancing a little bit. I'm thinking when he gets on the floor, the opposing team's going, we're going after that guy.
Yeah. We call that when you're not sure where you're supposed to be and you're not sure about your footwork or what you're supposed to do next. We call that Kelf-Baileying.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenon out there. So
I'll use another YMCA reference, Barry. You know, when he's on the floor, you ain't even got to guard him. Just double team somebody else. And when we used to do that in Y-ball, the kid that we left alone over there that we knew wasn't going to make a shot, his mother was in the stand screaming, how come you're not guarding my son? And I wanted to go, lady sucks. That's why.
That's hurtful, John. That is hurtful. That is hurtful. And this is a thing with Noah Williamson.
You know,
somebody was telling me this the other day. Noah Williamson's out there. He's a scholarship player. He's been on scholarship for, I think, now his third year at Alabama, second year, definitely. And they're cheering for him at the end of a blowout game like he's a walk-on. Yeah, I'm not a walk-on. I've been getting NIL money. You know, and number two out there, it's disrespectful when you are out there, because I've had this happen to me. Stop doing this, basketball players. It is not decorum. As soon as he shoots any shot, anything, layup, 15-footer, three-pointer, as soon as he cocks his arm out there and everybody says, he's off. It's off. You know, before he even shoots it. That hurt my feelings. I mean, that hurt
down
their
the floor, knowing their team's going to get the rebound. They're already thinking offense.
Noah Williamson saying, hey, nobody's guarding me. Let me take a shot. Why do you think nobody's guarding you?
Yeah. So, okay, maybe it was a harsh life lesson for that little 8-9-year-old kid that we didn't guard the whole game and the ball was never thrown to him. And he's crying as he's leaving the gym, walking through the lobby of the Southeast YMCA. In tears, his mother's trying to comfort him. But he looked back on that years later and said, you know what? I'm not going to take that anymore. And he ended up being the president of a bank or something. Yeah, go in there and get a loan. Hey, weren't you the coach that wouldn't put a guy on me? Nah, you're not getting a loan.
Yep. Try somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay. Barry got some Theodis, I got some bad news. Josh Harris has the flu. He is sick as a dog. I said, hey, can you gut it out, take one for the team? He said, I don't think I can make it. I said, so Josh will be on later this week. So Theodis,
we got guests having babies. We got guys having the flu.
That's right.
Pets' heads are falling off around here.
Mm-hmm. So he'll be on later in the week. But CJ Duncan, if he's not changing a diaper, he will join us in about 12 minutes from Nashville. Looking forward to talking with CJ. His wife had a baby girl last week, and he wasn't able to join us, so we're looking forward to hearing about that and everything else CJ might have to tell us today. Also, some other big topics we're going to get to later on in the show, but we want to hear from you. It's easy on our River Region Straw chat line. It is humming today. You can also get in Longshore McKnight at gmail.com. That will be the email address. You will submit your final 4 for 4 in the final 4 in our big contest that we're having for the NCAA tournament, where you can win a 4-carat diamond from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
We got all the details available. We'll continue to tell you about that during the course of our program. Already on the chat line, Chris the Bammer has ventured out that Auburn is going to beat Alabama on Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Wow. Final game of the regular year. There is, as John pointed out, there is a game tonight. Everybody plays in the SEC last night. Except we're going to withhold Texas, Arkansas, because it's such a huge battle. Okay, yeah. That's tonight as well.
I wonder how the indoor golf went on ESPN last night.
That's the other hurtful thing about it. Auburn plays at 9:00 at night, so I don't know. Justin Rose can hit golf balls on an indoor facility on TV. Come on. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
22 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, in about 8 minutes or so. Hey, glad you're with us here today. You can always check us out here live from 7 until 9. That's when we shoot the show, recorded as you will. We shoot it live, and then it's available throughout the day on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes. Whether you watch or listen or do both, you can check it out at your convenience. Very easy. Just go to the search bar, type in Longshore McKnight. It'll pop up. Check it out at yellowhammernews.com as well. Check it out on Yellowhammer's Facebook page. So many ways to check it out. We greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your buddies and your friends and your business associates.
The good thing about that, if you search it, like John says on YouTube, Longshore and McKnight, you do it one time and then it pops right up after that. If you've got your thing, and so just really easy. There's people again who will watch us live, people who watch us on replay, and there's people like the Yodas and like Chris the Bammer who watch it evidently while they're watching Maria Bartiromo on.
Oh, got to get the daily financial news. You know, the markets are taking a little hit this week, kind of like the Phantom. More on that later.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have your ebbs and flows. It's okay. I did notice gas prices have popped up a little bit since the little situation over in the Middle East, but those will probably come back down for the summer as well. So
I'm sitting here looking at the bracketology, waiting for them to update it this morning, and they have not yet. They've got Auburn as one of the first 4 out. That was before yesterday's win over a nondescript LSU team. Does that get Auburn in? They got Alabama as a 3 seed. At CBSSports.com. A 3 seed in the West Regional, where they would projected take on obviously the 14 seed. That would be the Anteaters of the University of California, Irvine. They've also got the Troy Trojans playing the Florida Gators in what you would call the John Sumrall match.
I'd say John Sumrall could come to the game. Where is the regional being contested?
I don't know. They didn't have that. I'll have to look it up.
That's regional. Wow. How come the California team gets to stay out west and Alabama's got to go all the way out there? Huh. That seems odd. Troy was going to be my next question. Of course, the Sun Belt tournament down in Pensacola. Do we know when Troy will play first?
Yes, we do. This is my week. Baseball this afternoon, 3:00. Troy versus Vanderbilt. I'm in Nashville for that. Come back, get back home 11:00 midnight. No game tomorrow, but Troy baseball plays at home Friday and Saturday and Sunday at Riddle Pace Field against the Terrapins of the University of Maryland, who comes down. By the way, Troy already has 2 Power 4 wins this year. They'll take on Maryland on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. We'll do those baseball games. And after the Saturday afternoon game, we'll drive down to Pensacola, where the top-seeded Troy Trojans men's basketball team will play on Sunday at 5:00 in the semifinals. Troy already has a bye to the semifinals. So it'll be Sunday at 5, and then if they win that, they would play Monday night for the championship. So
wow, so only got to win 2 games to win the tournament.
Yeah, it's different than everybody else because the coaches kind of wanted this, where, you have, like, Troy's obviously won the regular season championship, and you had a 6-way tie for second place. The coaches wanted it to where the best teams wouldn't get upset in the tournament. So it started yesterday, and there'll be men's games tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday night. And if you win through to those, then you get to play Troy, who hasn't had to play at all this week.
Does Troy have to win the tournament to make the NCAA?
The Sun Belt traditionally is a 1-bid league. Troy won it last year, made the NCAA, played in Milwaukee against Kentucky. There have not been any at-large bids to the NCAA from the Sun Belt. So, yeah, whoever wins the Sun Belt tournament is going to be the only team from the Sun Belt that makes it to the NCAA. So there's a lot riding on it, believe me. Next week, the SEC tournament gets underway, and hey, it's here in Nashville, where they have it at Bridgestone, which I really like.
Yep. Arena.
The first round game is a week from today. The first round games are a week from today, and the championship game will be on March the 15th on ESPN. There will be, last year there were 14 SEC teams that made it. This year there's not going to be 14. If you missed it, Bruce Pearl has been spending time on camera as a studio host for TNT and for ESPN. They're the Miami University of Ohio, the Red Hawks. They won tonight, a very close one against Toledo in the MAC. And Miami of Ohio is now 30-0 this year. 30-0.
Yeah.
And Bruce Pearl, and this is the MAC, I get it, but they're 30-0. Bruce Pearl on TV the other day said that Miami of Ohio, if they don't win the MAC, they don't win the tournament, they probably don't deserve to be in the NCAA. And a school like Auburn does.
Ouch.
And he got skewered for that. Joe Lunardi of ESPN, and that's a diss for Miami of Ohio. They've won every game they've scheduled. Joe Lunardi says about Bruce Pearl, he says, quote, "I suppose it's possible Miami is the worst undefeated team of all time, and Auburn is the best 500 team of what we've ever seen, but it's way more likely that Pearl would be better off leaving bracketology to the professionals."
Yeah, wow.
That's the kind of stuff, the old Philip Marshall kind of stuff that used to drive me crazy. Well, I know they're 30-0, but
I'll say this. Bruce has had a lot of interesting comments of late. I understand the AD of Miami of Ohio snapped back at Bruce's comments. Of course, Bruce had some choice words about Nate Oates and the Charles Bediako situation. Something about rules, pot, kettle, black. Anyway, Bruce is trying to make a name for himself on the TV side. as well. I do understand, Barry, that maybe Miami of Ohio has not played the most difficult of schedules, 30-0 or not.
They have not.
So I know they're factoring that in, but to give Bruce a little pat on the back, it kind of sounds like, yeah, you guys vote for this and we're going to let you in. And then once it passes, you're out. And that's kind of the way I feel about college football and the playoff situation.
Yeah,
we want big boys. We want helmet teams. We don't want these other guys that had one of these, miraculous seasons for the ages and they make documentaries about you and blah, blah, blah. That's what Bruce is saying.
This is also, again, what we call the Longshore doctrine. Go ahead and make everybody feel good about, I'm all about inclusion. I want to have an expanded playoff because I want more people to have the excitement and the honor of playing in it. And I wasn't buying that for a millisecond, because as soon as we went to a 14-team playoff or a 12-team playoff or an 18-team playoff or whatever John was, as soon as he got there, he's like, we don't need Boise State. James Madison, come on. Meanwhile, 2 years ago, John was like, James Madison, wouldn't you love to be a part of this? Now that they're a part of this, John says they shouldn't be a part of this. That's the Longshore doctrine. Say what you need. Yeah. Say what you need to get what you want, and then do what you really want,
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe I am more Democrat than Republican now that I think about it, huh? Wow.
Yeah. John is conservative financially, but he's liberal with
let them all in.
His entertainment dollars.
Let them all in. Let's just have a playoff for everybody. But I see you working there, Bruce. I see what you're saying. I mean, am I going to lose any sleep if Miami of Ohio doesn't make the tournament? No. Did I know they were 30-0 until yesterday? No. Does the rest of the world know they're 30-0? No.
That's the final thing. That's the final straw, because we all know John, he doesn't have the greatest broad interest in sports. He's like, I didn't know that guy. I didn't know that guy when he was Super Bowl MVP 3 years ago. That kind of a thing. But then he extrapolates it all out there. If I don't know, then nobody knows. Because if I don't care, then nobody should care. If I don't like it, then nobody should like it.
That I remember. I mean, I don't know that Miami of Ohio's 30-0 or in the MAC or whatever, but I did know the Braves used to have a player that had vertigo and couldn't play.
Couldn't tell you his name. God bless you, Nick Asaski.
Yeah, the dude
when
with
we
vertigo.
Come back, we're going to check and see whether CJ's been getting any sleep, whether he's got bags under his eyes. CJ Duncan joins us in a moment, and we'll get a few words in with him. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Man, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You got a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What I miss? I have no idea.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. Okay, about 25 minutes or so to the top of the hour on this Wednesday. Glad you're with us here today. We're glad to welcome in our friend CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News. He is back. He looks a little rested, maybe some bags under his eyes there, Barry.
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Man, we're doing great, CJ. And I see that big smile on your face. Tell us about it.
Man, we are so blessed over here. We welcomed our baby girl last Tuesday morning, but as you can imagine, with all the tests and this and that, and they were poking and prying at her for a little while, and they finally released her on Thursday, 2 days later, and we've had her at home ever since. We've had a lot of help from both parents, both sets of parents, and it's just been bliss ever since. Though we were so excited to have her here.
Many congratulations! But I got to know, has already SEC Women's Basketball Coach of the Year Shea Ralph for the Vanderbilt Commodores, has she already started sending letters? Will there be recruiting visits anytime soon, CJ? I would imagine so.
Well, you know what? I've already gotten a call from the tennis program, so we're getting started early.
There you go.
We
love it.
One of the former athletes from the national championship team has reached out already and said, "Let her know when it's time for workout." So we're gonna get started soon.
I like it. I like it. Congratulations.
Man. So I guess the big question though is, how many times have you gotten up in the middle of the night for that diaper change in the last week?
You know what? Quite a bit. Well, but you know what? She's been a really good baby though. The first couple of nights, it was probably every 2 hours or so. And now, last night we stretched it to every 4. So she's been doing well, and she's allowed mom and dad to get a little rest. But you know what? They warn you about, getting sleep, doing all this, but once you know what you're getting up for, and it's something you want to get up for, it's not all that bad.
That's exactly right. That's very well put, CJ. No question about it. I know you haven't had a lot of a chance to as much of a chance to check in with what's going on in the world of sports, but they just finished up the NFL Combine again up in Indianapolis, and there's hang on, I'm getting text. Your little girl's name? What's her name? Full name?
Yes, Henrietta Bell Duncan.
Nice.
Oh,
very
man.
nice.
Very nice. Outstanding.
Yes. Yeah. The NFL Combine, the number one thing I've been hearing post NFL Combine is that it's television. That's why it's such a, that's why it's become such a production, particularly the 40-yard dash and the route running and all that kind of stuff. But it's not pulling its weight network wise. Do you? Is there a better, more efficient way to do the NFL Combine than they do it right now to pander to television and all of the different things that they want to have on camera? I mean, is there a better way to do all this, CJ?
You know what? I don't know that, right? I think, for me, I've never been a big 40-yard dash guy. I ran a pretty decent one. I ran 4.4, but I mean, also, I know guys who ran 4.6. I know they're a great football player. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't always translate, but it does make a lot of guys some money this time of year if they can go out there and impress on this one day. I'm more of a tape guy, but in more short area quickness, explosive drills, vertical and broad, things like that, 3-cone drill. I think those things are the ones that really matter. But you know what? I mean, they can't open up the meetings, right, where the guys are in there talking with the teams. You can't open that up. That's pretty private because they talking about personal things in those meetings. So I mean, if anything, maybe shorten it. I remember my wife saying, "Man, the combine's still going on." She said that at one point. So I think people may just get dragged out. But that's the only thing I can really think of. I think they're doing the right drills, the field drills. I think there are a lot of people in America who love watching the 40. I think they find that entertaining, seeing guys run fast. honestly, I was most entertained with the offensive linemen. I mean, we were seeing guys running 5.1 and 4.8, and I don't know if I've ever seen linemen run that fast. So I thought they were impressive this year. But yeah, I don't know that there's a whole lot to change. Maybe just making it a 3-day event instead of a 5-day event.
You bring up that, and it reminds me of the story way back when the San Francisco Giants, they didn't draft him, but they signed him. An Olympic gold medalist hurdler is a wide receiver named Ronaldo. John remembers. His name was Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah. And he was an Olympic gold medalist. And somebody asked him later on, he ended up playing for a couple of years. Somebody asked him about that. He said he ran a 4.240 and he still couldn't get open. You've got to be able to, I mean, the nuances of stuff, leverage and route running and all that kind of stuff. You can't necessarily figure that out from a drill, CJ.
You can't. And maybe I'm sitting here thinking about it. Maybe there's a situation where you allow the receivers and DBs to compete on the same day. And maybe there's drills in which they can both be involved in without getting each other hurt, right? I mean, you don't want to leave this place with injuries, but maybe having receivers and DBs compete as groups just to make it a little bit more exciting. Maybe that's something you do, but other than that, I don't know how much they can change things.
So, CJ, you'll hear of players, quarterbacks, I'm not throwing during the combine. I'm not going to throw during my pro day. Guys, I'm not running the 40-yard dash, a receiver, running back. Is that all done because if I have a bad combine or bad pro day, I'm going to lose money, I don't have as much to bargain with, or is it they know what I can do? I'm not going to go out here and show them something that they've already seen throughout the season. What's the mindset about participating in individual drills and not doing it?
Yeah, I think it's just maintaining your leverage, especially if you're a high round pick. You just don't want to give them anything to dock against you. If you're already just based on tape, if you're already a top 15 pick, you don't want to go out there and potentially run a slow time, or you don't want to get out there and throw to guys you don't know. And try to be accurate with them, and then they dock you for that. Because right now they're trying to find something wrong, not trying to find something right. That's the problem with the combine, and I can understand some guys. And listen, if you're not a burner, you don't know if that adrenaline is going to kick in. A lot of guys probably, I hear there's a lot of stories where guys say during training I didn't run under a 4.5. I didn't. And then I get to the combine or the pro day and I end up running 4.4. I just had so much adrenaline running in me and I hit everything the right way and it was great, So, but if you're not a burner and you're just not positive that every time you hop out of bed you're going to run a 4.3, the combine's probably not the best place for you to run a 40. You probably wait to the pro day where you're in the comfort of your own stadium, own practice facility, and you can run the very best possible time. And then for quarterbacks, you throw to your guys you've been throwing to all year, or if you're a receiver, you're catching the ball from, since they're letting college athletes participate in pro day now, or underclassmen participate in pro day now, Julian Sam will throw to Cardinal Tate. So he's like, okay, I'd rather just do that, and vice versa. So I think that will be, that's probably the reason why guys choose to participate or not participate.
Let me ask you about this. Let's depend on your expertise. CJ was a baller. He was a hooper. We're coming down the stretch, final weekend of the regular season for the Southeastern Conference. Florida's kind of separated themselves in the league race. They'll win the regular season championship. They're number 5 in the country. There's 4 other ranked teams, including Vanderbilt. Other than Florida in the SEC race in men's basketball, CJ, who do you like? I mean, who looks like they've got that look, either physically or the way they're coached or the way they compete, that you kind of like in the SEC down the stretch and maybe on into the postseason?
Barry, where does Arkansas currently stand? Do you have that readily available?
They play tonight. They and Texas are the only teams that play tonight. Everybody else played last night. So they're a half game behind Alabama. in third place at 12-5. Alabama's in second, 3 games back. Arkansas, if they beat Texas, they'll pull into a tie for second place.
Okay. I think I may want to go with Arkansas as a team I just want to keep an eye on.
Nice.
I really like Acuff there at Arkansas, the point guard. Physical, smooth game, really knows where he wants to get on the court. And Calipari's kind of been there, done that. Hadn't won a national championship in a long time, but had a pretty decent run last year, I believe. And so
I like it.
I would definitely keep an eye on Arkansas. You know, especially in college, explosive guards usually do well in the tournament, you know, because all they have to do is get hot for a few games. Alabama had a guard, left-handed guard, I'm blanking on his name, a couple years back that took him all the way to the Elite Eight. So I like seeing explosive guards in March Madness.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch. And I'm with you with Arkansas. I think they're sneaky good. You better watch out for the Hogs. And you mentioned Calipari's been there. He certainly has the experience when it comes to postseason. You know, the tournaments the SEC tournaments in Nashville next week. Great event. Heck, I'm old enough to remember when they brought the tournament back. You know, believe it or not, there was a time we did not have an SEC basketball tournament. I never could figure it out. And,
wow.
How old were we, Barry, when they brought it back? Were we in high school or college when they brought the tournament back?
It was in high school because I remember some that they had, but it never made any sense to do otherwise. Yeah. I mean, that's a money thing as much as
no
anything.
doubt. They brought the SEC tournament back and started the SEC football championship. What a great time to be growing up. But great place to have it there in Nashville at Bridgestone, center of the conference. People that go say it's unbelievable to watch that much basketball in that short a period of time in such a great venue.
It's a great experience. I've been several times. I've gone just because, I'm getting dinner on Broadway or something like that and just sneak on over, or, going to see Vanderbilt play as well. But Bridgestone is a great venue. As you know, the Preds play there as well. So we all are accustomed to going there. But yeah, great venue, great 4 or 5 days where just nonstop basketball, and you get to kind of get to know some of the other teams that you may not have been watching closely during the year. If you grab a seat, I mean, you're there for a few hours. You'll watch a couple games, and you start to learn some guys and see the talent that we have in this conference. So it's definitely. And then once you get done, you're still on Broadway. You get to go to a bar, grab a drink, or go get a great dinner on a rooftop somewhere. So you can't beat that, honestly.
I guess that's why Nashville's going to host the event for till the end of time. I don't know of another city that's going to host it in the future.
Yeah, I think the fan base has spoken. They're okay with where it's at.
Speaking of that, one final question I've got here. I'm actually in Nashville right now. Troy baseball plays this afternoon at 3:00 against Vanderbilt. My hotel's like a mile away from Hawkins Field where Vanderbilt plays baseball. So I'll have a chance to go eat lunch. If I drop your name anywhere on there, hey, CJ Duncan said I ought to go here.
Probably get your meal picked up, man.
That's what I'm hoping anyway.
I'm sure they'll take care of you. Yeah. I'm sure they'll take care of you. But that's a special place.
It's a great town.
Such a great town. And, our guys, I know they'll play scrappy. They're a tough team. And Coach Corbin has done a great job for so long. So if you see Coach Corbin, you definitely let him know that I said hello.
I'll do it. Yeah, count on it.
Definitely
CJ.
do that. But that'll be a great series, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes.
All right, CJ, before we let you go, Barry and I have been doing a little drill over the last 15 shows. Today will be the last team that we are highlighting, basically because, when it comes to alphabetical order, Vanderbilt is the last team that we're going to discuss. We started with Alabama, obviously, started with the A's, worked our way down. Vanderbilt is our team of the day, and we're calling it the starting 5. I know it has a little basketball feel to it, but we're talking about the first 5 games of every SEC football program's schedule in 2026. How are they going to start out? And looking at Vanderbilt, the first 2 certainly look winnable.
The third is the swing game, if you ask me.
Yep. then 2 road games after that, at Auburn, at Georgia. What does C.J. Duncan think about the starting 5 for Vanderbilt this year in terms of wins and losses?
Austin Peay, Delaware, North Carolina State is that 3rd game. All 3 of those are at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, then at Auburn and at Georgia. How does it strike you?
All right, so I'm anticipating us having maybe the freshman quarterback out there. If you're able to snag the number 1 player in the country, I'm assuming he won't be sitting the bench. So I think that'll be a good assumption. You know what? I actually do think that with the talent that we have that's coming back, in the momentum around the program, and then also having all those home games to start off. I could really see us being 4-1 in that stretch, 3-2 at the worst. I told my mom, I said, "Hey, look, man, we're getting real comfortable down here in Auburn, on the plains. I can't remember the last time we lost down here, so I don't think anything's going to change. I mean, we won basketball, baseball, football. I mean, you name it. We're just.
I mean, has it gotten to the point, Barry, where Vandy's running smack on Auburn? I love
we have passed that point. We have blown by that point.
But Georgia, I think, is going to have a good program or a good year this year, and Kirby knows what he's doing, and it's going to be tough to play them in between the hedges with a freshman quarterback. So I may give them that one.
Okay.
But before I go, Troy has a little small rivalry there against Vanderbilt. I don't know if you knew that, Barry.
They do they?
Yeah. So the Dansby Swanson, the legendary baseball player there at Vanderbilt. Both his parents played at Troy.
Cooter and Nancy. Yes,
that's right.
Cooter Swanson and Nancy Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, house divided there. So I'm gonna make sure I shoot him a text and make sure he's watching that series this weekend.
Point this out if you talk to him, because because Troy was playing baseball in Atlanta one time against Georgia State. This was back when Dansby was playing with the Braves, and he came over. He came over to the game just to talk to them. I don't know if Cooter said anything to him about it. His mom, by the way, is a Troy Sports Hall of Famer as a tennis player at Troy, Nancy. And he came and he talked to the team. And, he said he grew up as a Troy fan because of his parents and all that kind of stuff. But then he went to Vanderbilt, and that was a heck of a classy move. That's for sure. That meant a lot to the players. That's a quality guy, CJ, a quality friend you've got there, no question.
That is him through and through. He's always been that guy. I mean, to me and to others, I've seen it firsthand. He's always taken. He's gone out of his way when he doesn't have to just be a decent person, and that's all you can ask for out of a friend. So. Makes a whole lot of sense that he did that.
The only problem, CJ, is that we can't talk about Dansby too much because all of my Brave friends are still ticked off that the Braves couldn't sign him, and he ended up with the Cubs. They still can't forgive the Braves for that.
Well, listen,
I knew I liked that guy even more, and I played for the Braves. Perfect.
Well, the Cubs, they're going to have a pretty good year. Alex Bregman's joined the team, and him and Dansby had that little small rivalry there in college when Bregman was with the LSU Tigers, and and they kept going back and forth with awards. But Dansby got the last say as 1-1. So we'll take it from there.
Always great to visit with you, especially now, on special occasions like this. Congratulations again, and thanks so much for the time, CJ.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the congratulations, and I look forward to next week.
Yes. Thank you always, CJ. Great segment each and every week with CJ Duncan, Yellow Hammer News. Really appreciate his time. Obviously, very busy, particularly with the new addition at his house, baby girl. So congratulations to CJ and his wife and family. All right, Barry, when we come back, we'll give our thoughts about Vanderbilt and the starting 5. Also in the next hour, a couple of things I wanted to hit on in the world of college athletics. Could there be some changes? We'll talk a little bit about that in hour number 2 as well.
Plus, next week, in case you haven't heard, and of course, full disclosure, there is a bill in the Alabama legislature that is sponsored by my bosom buddy and roommate on the road, State Representative Chris Blackshear, who is not only a state representative from Phoenix City, a Republican from Phoenix City, but also my roommate on the road as the sideline reporter for the Troy Sports Media Network. He sponsored a bill that would make provisions for junior college football in the state of Alabama. We're going to get Republican State Representative Chris Blackshear on the show next week to talk about that when his schedule clears up just a little bit. But that's a thing.
Yeah.
Junior college football. They've got it in Mississippi, of course. They've got it in California. They've got it in Texas, several other places. We may have it in the state of Alabama. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on next week here on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Getting close to the top of the hour here on a Wednesday with Longshore and McKnight. I'm in network control, Barry, in Nashville for Troy baseball, taking on Vanderbilt tonight. Speaking of Vanderbilt.
Yes.
They are our final team in the starting five. We have gone through 15 of the 16 SEC football programs looking at their first 5 games of the 2026 season. Vanderbilt is the team today. We let C.J. Duncan take a shot at it. He's saying Vandy goes 4-1 out of the gate in their first 5. What do you say, Barry McKnight?
I don't know what to think. I'm unprepared for this. Last year, Vanderbilt was 10-3. They were 6-2 in the SEC. I think Diego Pavia's eligibility has run out.
I believe so.
But I thought that last year, and I wasn't too sure about the year before. I never know anymore. I mean, you know, I think he's done. CJ is a big believer in this freshman quarterback that they've got, and he is one of the top 10 recruits in the country. He's a 5-star freshman named Jared Curtis. He's from Nashville, originally committed to Georgia. He was committed to Georgia for a long time. And if he's the anointed one, send him out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Diego Pavia trots out there for the opening snap against the Governors of Austin P, I would not be totally shocked. I never know.
No, not this day and age. But I don't think he's going to.
Playing.
I don't think he's going to be there. Barry, I see you working there, and I'm with you.
This is one of the most interesting.
I think the schedule we talked really about for a true freshman. If he's everything he's all cracked up to be, who else to just get your feet wet than against Austin P and Delaware?
This is one of the more interesting starting fives, first 5 games to start that I've seen, because I mean, if the kid's got it, Austin P at home, the Blue Hens of Delaware at home, NC State comes in. That's the one I was talking about, John. That's the swing game right there. That's the first time they'll really be tested, although, not tested against NC State, and it's at home. So they'll go, if the kid's got it, and I haven't seen him play, and they start out 3-0, then they come to Auburn. C.J. Duncan says, Vanderbilt's getting awfully comfortable in Auburn. They've beaten them in baseball. They're beating them in women's basketball. They're beating them in football. They're beating them in men's basketball. I'm just saying that if Vanderbilt comes in and Auburn's got fifth-year senior Byram Bound, the quarterback that everybody, for the third straight year, they got a transfer quarterback that everybody seems to think is the answer. And who knows? I think he's an upgrade. I think he's a definite upgrade. But if Vanderbilt comes in there with a freshman quarterback and they punk Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium, that may really light the candle for the Commodores, because people don't realize this. Pavia was a great player, great leader, Heisman finalist. I think he finished number 2 in the Heisman race, and that ain't hay. But they're more than just Pavia. John, Vanderbilt is a good football team.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. Had a really good tight end as well to go along with Diego Pavia offensively. I just think there again, if in fact you are going to start a true freshman, highly touted kid, came out of nowhere.
Normally reserved Augusta crowd.
So you trot him out there for Austin P in Delaware. I mean, you couldn't think up a better opening scenario. Yeah, let the kid play. It's only Austin P, big deal. And Delaware the next week, who cares? Get him some college experience. Let him see the bright lights, the fast pace. Then you ramp it up a little bit with a, average ACC team. And when I say average ACC team, that means they're not very good compared to the SEC. So NC State comes out, maybe a night game, who knows? Then you're heading into Auburn to take on Alex Golish's Auburn Tiger team, which I believe is Auburn's first SEC game as well.
It is, yes.
So
go ahead and say, are you calling?
And let me put it this way. If Auburn wins the game against Vanderbilt based on the comments that C.J. Duncan made about football, basketball, baseball over the years, if Auburn wins the game, are they rolling Toomer's corner?
Of course they are.
Oh.
Is that a real question? Of course they are. Winning a home game in the SEC, you got to do that. I don't think they win it, though.
Tell me they did not roll it after beating LSU in basketball last night.
I couldn't tell you. I think Auburn wins that game. I do.
Okay. All right.
And I don't think there's a snowflake's chance, and where, for them to go to Georgia and beat the Bulldogs in week 5.
Tough.
So I've got them 3-2. And it needs to be pointed out that if CJ says, Vanderbilt has gotten real comfortable with Auburn at Auburn lately. Seems as though, to be perfectly fair and transparent and even, they've gotten real comfortable with Alabama
Tennessee?
in Nashville. As a matter of fact, too, if truth be known, they play them November the 14th, Alabama and Vanderbilt in Nashville.
Yeah.
Is this a better Alabama team than rolled into Nashville and got schooled 2 years ago?
Well,
is this a better Vanderbilt team?
Barry will know in Alabama's starting five what kind of team they're going to have. Now, they should win all 5 of those games, but boy, if they trip up in one of those first 5, woo! Hello, Allied Van Lines. Head out to North River Yacht Club. There's a big house at the end of the block in a cul-de-sac. Go ahead and pull up. Start loading it up.
I'm an Admiral moving company guy. Those guys treated me right.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, good folks.
So that's. Are we done already?
That's it. That's 16 teams, believe it or not.
Oh,
that was it. The starting 5. We'll do it again next year. Now, of course, later on,
the MAC starting 5. We're going to do the starting 5 for each team. The team in the Mid-American Conference later. Is that going to happen?
No.
We got big Mountain West. No. Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far. But later this summer, we'll go through the entire 12-game regular season schedule.
Good.
As we get closer and get a better feel of what's going to happen in the summer. All right, so this is something I wanted to get. Actually, a couple of things I wanted to get to today, but this is one thing you told us about last week. We touched on it a little bit yesterday with Travis. There's a meeting scheduled for the White House 2 days from today.
Yes.
March the 6th. It is a roundtable discussion about the future of college athletics. Now, I've said this since first I became aware of it. You got too many people going. You don't need half these people up there. When you get 35, 40 people together, nothing's going to get done. Too many opinions, too many people pulling in too many different directions. I've seen it personally. It just doesn't work.
I don't think that we have gotten enough feedback from Joe Schmo, who's only here in a ceremonial, symbolic role. And let's listen to him. And John's in the back on.
Yeah, rolling my eyes.
He doesn't know what he's talking about, or she doesn't know what she's talking about. Why are we listening to her? Let's go get this thing done.
So the president is going to chair this group. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, New York Yankee President Randy Levine are listed as vice chairs of this group, about 35, 40 people. Bryson DeChambeau, Tiger Woods, Nick Saban, Mike Brown, Urban Meyer, former college coaches, former Secretary of State and College Football Playoff Selection Committee member Condoleezza Rice, New England Patriots President Jonathan Kraft, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
What?
Now these, what's he need to be there for? I thought this was interesting. ESPN Chairman Jimmy Pitero, Fox Sports President Eric Shanks. Why are presidents and chairmen from big-time college football TV partners going to be there?
Because they're funding the whole thing. There's this thing about, the Cody Campbell plan and everything. ESPN and Fox don't like that. And they're on the verge of just being tapped out. They've gone pretty doggone high. If they go any higher, they're going to have to say, we're out of this thing. They need to be there a lot more crucially than the NBA commissioner.
I don't get that.
What in the heck? They need to be there more than Condi needs to be there.
Yeah, Cody Campbell, the billionaire that is financed the Texas Tech athletic program. More on him later. He'll be there. Yeah. There'll be other people as well. I think there's
Tim Tebow will be there.
So they show up at the White House. Everybody. Hey, they get to the White House. They shake hands, pat each other on the back, take some pictures. You finally get all 35 to 40 of them settled in one room. The president starts talking. How many other guys are going to get an opportunity to talk? Just think about it. 35, 40 people in an afternoon in Washington. There's not going to be enough time. I mean, unless Trump gets in front of him and said, listen, I want this done, and I want it done by June the 1st. Maybe somebody gets it done, and he really presses them. But I just don't, Saban's got to be going to, wait a minute. I got to get yanked off the golf course and fly up to D.C. for a meeting that nothing's going to get done and sit up there and glad hand and chew the fat for 2 hours with people I don't really want to be around anyway. I don't get it.
But how do you get the input from the people who can move and shake and not get the input of people like Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevarez, Wake Forest Athletic Director John Curry?
You know how I would do it, Barry? I'd have a room, and then there's a table with about 8 chairs around it. Then everybody else is sitting in the back. And maybe we'll open it up for Q&A when these 8 guys get through talking. But the guy from Wake, you're back here.
The lady from the Mountain West Conference?
You're way over here.
Yeah. Can you grab me? Yeah, hand me over, the creamer. No, not the sugar, the creamer. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I mean, come on.
I just foresee a U-shaped table.
Yeah.
And at the head of the U, in the gap in the U, that's where Trump's sitting. And behind Trump, on a little platform, a little riser behind him where everybody can see them, then you have the CEO of ESPN, the CEO of Fox. And you have somebody say, I propose that we put all of the power in each of our football playing membership. And everybody looks back behind Trump, and the ESPN CEO says, and all of a sudden, I propose that we have a 24-team college football playoff. And the Fox guy goes,
yeah, not happening.
And everybody's like, okay. So we table that motion and move to something else. That's what's going to be driving this whole thing. Is
and I don't know if this is Friday morning or Friday afternoon, and I get it. We got a lot of things going on in this world that are far more important. I get it. If they postpone this thing, certainly I don't think it would upset many people. If it's a Friday afternoon thing, Barry, this is a news dump. You won't hear anything about it. That's like when Auburn got put on probation. They announced it at 4:55 on a Friday afternoon.
And when the NCAA found out there was absolutely nothing to those charges, that was at 4:59.
So, I don't have a lot of confidence in it. I'm tired of the talking. I've been saying this forever. Quit talking and let's do something about it. There's something about, blank or get off the pot. I've heard that phrase before. So let's do it.
Something
let's
in cup bait,
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of faith in it. I did also see this, though, Barry. And I don't know, yesterday, I believe, this took place, a big meeting in Dallas yesterday.
Yeah.
There again, another one of these let's get together type deals. There were board of trustee members from mega schools and mega boosters from dozens of schools. All 4 power leagues were invited. They were a lot of people there.
It was organized in Dallas by an organization called Smash Capital, which is Smash Capital. With their proposal to pool the media rights of all top-tier D1 football schools. Now, John would be the perfect one to define what is top-tier and what is not, but that's what it was there for. Pool all the media rights together. The ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, Big 10, and Notre Dame all get together and they put their media rights up for bid, highest bidder or whatever. The SEC doesn't like it. The Big 10 doesn't like it. None of the group of 5 teams like it. But the ACC kind of likes it. The Big 12 says, I wouldn't mind pooling my media resources with the SEC and the Big 10. That means more money for us. The SEC says we are not in the business of subsidizing the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about going on. Board members and executives representing it. It's not just the Power 4 conferences that are going to be at this Smash Capital meeting. There are there's going to be a lot of other people. There will be individual school representatives from at least 15 power conferences. Have been. I mean, this meeting's been going on. It's a thing. Michigan, Penn State, USC, LSU sent the president of the whole dang university there.
Yeah, they mean business.
TCU president was there. Even though they had their chance in a college football national championship game, and they wet the bed. But that's what John's talking about here.
Yeah, I thought there's a couple of snippets in here that caught my eye. The center of the plan is a congressional amendment of a 65-year-old act. Opening the SBA would increase college football revenues from a projected $6.7 billion in 2035 without consolidation to $14 billion with consolidation. Steve Bornstein, the architect of NFL Network, who also worked for a decade at ESPN, says it's the right path and believes the SEC and the Big Ten should do something for the greater good. Well, wait a minute. Hey, Big Ten, hey, SEC, we need you guys to help out college athletics for the greater good. What are we getting out of it?
Well, you know who else did
warm
something?
Your heart knowing that you're doing something for the greater good of college athletics.
This is what John says. This is certainly not my opinion, but it's John's opinion. You know who was telling the population we're doing this for the better good in history? Vladimir Lenin, Mikhail Gorbachev, Joseph Stalin, Nikita Khrushchev, Mao Zedong. That's communism. Wait a minute. We're going to get everybody together and we'll all divide it out equally, no matter how much oomph you've got and how much leverage you've got and how much popularity you got. We're all going to be in this together. Like John says, in any negotiation, it usually centers around the negotiating parties focusing on one thing. What's in it for me?
What's in it for me? I mean, at the end of the day, we can be all hunky-dory and lovey-dovey and touchy-feely and warm and fuzzy.
But sooner or later, Tony Petitti is going to say, all right, okay, I've listened to everything you've said. I've paid attention. I've written notes. The commissioner of the Big Ten, Tony Petitti, I've paid attention. I've done a really good job. My assistant has been keeping me updated with all of the latest trends. But what's in it for me?
What's in it for me?
How does this move that you're proposing benefit the constituency of the Big Ten Conference?
Mountain West, love you. Great part of the country. Got some interesting things going on out there, but you're going to have to deal with it yourself. We're not here to drag along the Mountain West. So it's been fun while it lasted. This really caught my eye, though, Barry. In a 16-page memo distributed to the attendees and obtained by Yahoo Sports, Smash Sports details its plan, which, in short, features optimizing football schedules to arrange more attractive non-conference matchups. Hey, Greggy, you hear that? That Ohio State game ain't going nowhere. Notre Dame, stick in there and go get some other big boys on the schedule while you're at it.
Greggy, again, this is John, and I can see him coming. I can see right through to his back collar button right here. Hey, Greggy, get us some more big time conference. If you got to get rid of somebody, East Carolina,
sure. UT Martin, out of here.
Chattanooga,
forget it.
If you got to get rid of somebody, get rid of
them.
And
there again, there's the networks talking. We got to have big matchups. These crap games, over, done with. Well, they're college kids. They can't play 12 tough games in a year. Don't give me that. I don't want to hear it.
John,
you get hurt just as easy against Middle Tennessee, Brody Croyle, or is it Western Michigan?
Western Carolina.
Western Carolina. Right. See? Don't even remember the team. You can get just as hurt against them as you can against Ohio State. Don't want to hear it.
Yeah, John wants more.
Yeah,
I don't care how much more of a hardship it puts on the student athletes. I don't care. No. Feed me more. Feed me more. I'm hungry for more.
Love that. Well, what hardship are these kids going through? I mean, they travel in style. stay at great places, eat great food, got fantastic medical care, live in fabulous facilities. What hardship? You kidding me?
Yeah.
Sign me up for it. I'll take all that I can get.
John would be a terrible farmer. He'd be terrible. These pigs, they're living the life. They get plenty to eat. Man, our cows, man, they get hay and they get all these additives and they get, they get all the water they can drink and everything. They're living the life. We're going to kill them later, but hey, I get what I want, and that's all I'm interested in.
So, Barry, I know you're a big streaming guy, and The Night Agent Season 3 on Netflix, it's good. I'm telling you, got to check it out. But, Barry, in this same piece that I was reading about this, ESPN and Fox, it's costing too much money. We don't know if we can do it. They're just bargaining. They got plenty of money, ain't a problem with them. But how would the college football consumer like the possibility of your college football team being broadcast on Apple or Amazon or Netflix or Google or any of these others or Prime Video, whatever it may be, that seem to be pretty interested if ESPN and Fox claim they can't afford it?
It's all changing. Everything is changing. That's the one thing constant about the world is change. It's the coming thing. I got zero problem with it. Zero, not one. The medium has never bothered me. I can't believe we're on ESPN2. Big deal. Show me where the game is. I'll watch the game. I'm not sitting here thinking, what an absolute travesty it is that we're having to play on this network. I'm watching it. It looks good. Big deal.
Yep.
We got to take a break because
one quick thing about the streaming service. I got it. Okay. I'm going to write this down.
Okay.
We'll do this later in the day, but I didn't want to forget it. But it was a streaming question.
I'm glad you're saying that we'll leave this later in the day, because otherwise some people might be under the erroneous impression that you're trying to put off the Phantoms Daily.
Oh, is that next? Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah. Which nothing could be further from the truth.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and dive in when we get back.
He's John Longshore. He's in network control.
Yeah.
I'm Barry McKnight in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here. It is about 23 minutes past the hour. No dilly-dally in here. It's been a tough start of the week, no doubt. Missouri going into Norman, Oklahoma last night as a 2.5-point underdog. Gets beat by 16. I mean, Missouri, come on. What are you doing? Oklahoma's not any good. You tanking it? Do you already think you're in the tournament? I mean, what's going on out there? Tough night. Not going to complain. Took it on the chin. Got to call it like you see it.
And it really doesn't matter in the great grand scheme of things, particularly for your man, whether you didn't cover by a half a point,
right,
or in this case, whether you get totally outplayed and end up losing by 16, and doesn't really matter. A cover is a cover, and a loss is a loss.
Yeah, it is.
The degree of it really doesn't matter. So,
wow.
Oh, it is lingering. Lingering.
Yep.
You can still. He's. Despite his words, his face. Man,
it was tough. It was
so
tough.
we're getting. This is a difficult, but yet this is a difficult scenario, but still one full of possibilities.
Yeah,
John. Now we're getting down to. For some schools, they're already in the postseason.
That's right.
For some schools, they're coming down this stretch with a lot to play for. The Phantom knows that by and large, except for some of the bottom feeder teams that know they don't have a prayer on God's green earth of getting into the NCAA tournament until they win the tournament, that he's going to get their best effort now. There's not going to be any, mid-season, well, we're just trying to figure out who our starters are or how many minutes. Everybody knows their teams by now. Everybody knows the other teams by now. Let's play the games, and let's see how well we know what we're doing here with the Phantom. Here we go. This is that time of year.
So, Barry, we're going to the ACC tonight. Little ACC action in Dallas, where the Miami Hurricanes are traveling to take on SMU.
He does not ever I knew it. He never, on first reference, he never calls them SMU. It's a wonderful institution with loads of money. And they'll always be SMU to you.
They'll be SMU to me.
Yeah.
Miami, Barry, believe it or not, if people have not looked, is in third place in the ACC at a 12-4 record, 23-6 overall. Pretty good Hurricane team right behind Duke and Virginia, ahead of North Carolina by a half a game. But, hey, they're ahead. SMU, on the other hand, middle of the pack, 8-8 in league, 19-10 overall. So we look at the schedules here. And Miami, as I mentioned, pretty impressive, coming off 2 straight wins against BC and Florida State. They did lose to a ranked Virginia team 3 games ago. They went out to Berkeley and got beat by Cal by 1, tip in at the buzzer. Florida State, in-state rival, beat them by 2. They lost to a top 20 team in Clemson. They lost to a top 10 team in BYU, a top 10 team in Florida. So Miami's losses have been against good competition. They ain't been messing around. SMU, on the other hand, not as impressive. They're coming off 2 straight losses. They lost at Cal and at Stanford. The West Coast swing, not good.
Not good.
Neither one of those 2 teams ranked. They lost to Syracuse, not ranked. Lost to NC State, not ranked. Did lose to a 20th ranked Louisville. Lost to a 16th ranked Virginia, 6th ranked Duke. They lost to Clemson, who was not ranked at the time. Lost to LSU. Auburn beat them last night.
I knew that was coming up. How good could they be? The Aubs beat them. That's always right there near the front of his mind.
So wait a minute. Miami is okay. They're on the road. I get it, but they're catching 2.5 at SMU tonight. Something just doesn't make sense here. And you look at the records that we just went over. Miami definitely been tested more than SMU has. 6 o'clock ACC network. I actually get the ACC network. I might check it out in between Laura Ingraham and Jesse Waters. Hey, Tim Tebow was on with Laura Ingraham last night. But I'm taking the Hurricanes of Miami catching 2.5 at SMU tonight.
Well, at least he spelled out SMU when he gives the actual final thing. against Miami. Again, 6 o'clock tonight, which puts them directly up against Laura Ingram, Jesse Waters, all that.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So we're going with Miami tonight. Okay.
There we go.
So here's the thing I wrote down. I want to clarify this. I don't want to throw all these people into one big pot here. But I've been a little critical of the television commentators for the SEC network.
Yes.
This year. I don't have so much of a problem with the play-by-play guys. It's the color analyst. The one at Auburn last night was horrendous. The one in Athens wasn't much better. I don't know who these people are. And I guess, the guys they had have moved up. They've progressed. They've gone up the ladder. I get it.
All right,
but boy, the guys that they're doing it now, they're hard to listen to. I almost had to go in the driveway and listen to the color analyst of the Auburn radio network. And you know how hard he is to listen to. Woo!
John loves him some Andy, though. Andy Burcham, one of the great human beings on the face of the planet. John loves him. It was for Auburn, the play-by-play. This is Auburn LSU, SEC Network. Both of the teams have a winning overall record, but both of them have a losing record in the league. So it's a middling game in the SEC. Mike Morgan, buddy of mine, was the television play-by-play anchor for the SEC Network. The color analyst, King McClure.
And John, the guy's got to be pretty good, because anybody with the name Morgan, guy's got to be good.
Yeah, no kidding. That's there's a legacy there that needs to be upheld. John, I have been around basketball my whole life. I know coaches. I'm not bragging. I just have.
Yeah.
I'm not good,
sure.
bad, hey, worse, richer for
it's
poor.
not bragging if it's a fact. I mean, come on.
I have never heard of the name King McClure before in my life. King McClure, who in the world?
Now, Barry, I got
King
a couple
McClure.
of friends and contacts at the SEC Network. If they need me to do color for a game, you got to get me out there, put me up in a nice place, pay for my meals, the whole deal, but I'll do it.
They do that.
And you got to pay me too. I mean, come on, I ain't doing it for free.
But
I mean,
and John
I can be
would
a
put
lot
it out
more
there.
entertaining than these guys are.
That guy's a stiff. He couldn't play dead in a cowboy movie. Why is he out there? Get him. What is this coach doing? What is he? Anyway,
it was noticeable last night in the Auburn game. I'm thinking, this must be this guy's first game. He is not very good. And who was the guy doing the Bama game? He wasn't much better.
The play-by-play guy is Dave Neal.
Love him.
His dad, Bob Neal, used to do the old TBS Jefferson Pilot games with Tim Foley. The analyst is John Sunvold. Now, I know John Sunvold. I happen to think he does okay. He's a former shooting guard for the Missouri Tigers back when Missouri was back in the Big Eight.
How do you spell his last name?
Sundvold. Sunvold.
I thought you said Sunbolt. I'm thinking, what kind of name is that?
It's not like Sun Bowl like you play in El Paso. This is John Sunvold. I like him. Except he spells his first name without an H. Go figure.
Oh, got to be aware. Got to be
it's kind
careful
of like
about those guys.
Roll. Yeah.
So he played for Missouri when?
Long time ago. I mean, he's like our age and everything. But I mean, he played for Missouri before Missouri was in the SEC.
Yeah.
I guess they need Missouri representation on the air.
So Barry, there again, look, this is like with the Montgomery Biscuits getting a little slump. And we call it tough love to kind of, get the Biscuits going, home team, come on, you're representing. And normally 9 times out of 10, it's like 4 out of 5 dentists, they turn it around, start winning. I'm not trying to be mean here to the SEC network. I like the network, most of the time. Some of the stuff I can do without. But they're not any good. They got to do better. That's all I'm saying. The play-by-play guys, I can live with them. But I want a color analyst. I mean, I know they all can't be Snake Stabler. They all can't be Stan White. I get it.
It's a different taste in that. Is John saying man, they've got to give me somebody as a color analyst who can tell me whether the guard is hard hedging defensively on the post play or on the pick and roll. I need a guy who can tell me whether or not the forward is going over the screen to try to deny the three-point shooter or going under the screen to try to deny the drive. No, John's wanting somebody. Oh, baby, here we go. That guy's a deep. Oh, my gosh. That referee. I don't, John wants a yeller. He wants a screamer. He wants somebody with a little personality. All this stuff about,
Barry,
I see they switched from a 2-3 to a 1-3-1. Watch out for the backdoor cut on the. John's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Can you yell about something? Can you crack a joke?
I need to come sit in with you for a Troy basketball game. Hey, Barry, this kid for App State, he couldn't hit a three if that bucket was twice the size that it is up there right now. He's terrible.
The problem is that John would have to come to the game wearing a big floppy hat, some sunglasses, and a fake mustache because Troy never seems to play well when Longshore. Neil Brown, who's now the head coach at North Texas, I don't know that he's still forgiven you for that.
Wait a minute. They did beat South Alabama on that cold night in November when I came down to the game. Well, okay, it was cold.
Yeah.
It was cold, but I was sitting inside because somebody got me into the club lounge up there.
But they didn't cover. So
I don't think they did cover. They did win the game. So I mean, if you're gonna grab me, I'm watching the game, but I don't need to hear about a 2-3 zone defense or whatever. Give me something else. This kid's really good. He's hit 8 out of his last 13. He ought to be shooting more. Yeah, I'm with you.
Can you imagine? John has not volunteered because he ain't doing it for free, but John has announced his availability. Can you imagine John on that? Look at that coach. He doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he's running up and down acting like he's coaching this team. They ain't paying any attention to him. Yeah. Look at that one guy.
Barry, look at this. Double T's right here. This is going to be great.
Replay on this one. That was no foul. Come on. The guy's still standing. He's got all his limbs. What do you mean foul? Or look into that huddle there. Their star player, he's over there looking at that blonde over there in the baseline. He ain't paying attention to what he's writing on that whiteboard. That would be Longshore doing color.
There again, Jimmy Dykes, I like a lot.
Yeah.
The Damian Fishback, I loved a lot. Who was the guy that played at Arkansas that always dresses up, has a big
Pat Bradley.
Yeah, Pat Bradley. I like him. He's animated. He's fun to listen to. I think Richard Hendricks is getting better. He knows the game. Richard Hendricks just knows the game.
I like him a lot. Him a lot. Dane Bradshaw, I like. John wouldn't know Dane Bradshaw from Terry Bradshaw.
Okay, I think did he play at Arkansas?
But
white guy? Dane Bradshaw?
Dane Bradshaw played at Tennessee.
White
he played
guy.
at Tennessee.
I do like him. Younger, how old is he? In his 30s?
He's in his 30s. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, he's good. He was Bart Heisch era, something like that.
He is good, Barry. He might be the best color analyst the SEC network has on right now. I know exactly who you're talking about. He is good. Even a Tennessee
does a
guy,
very
he's
good
good.
job.
He's good.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So now that obviously Hades has frozen over underfoot and John has paid a compliment to a Tennessee guy. I didn't really know his name, though. I referenced him as that white guy that looks young that's on the SEC network. Sounds close enough. Who's getting a little bit older that I wish could do more games? Maybe it's because he's, I don't know, got a career or something like that.
Yep.
We've been Vanderbilt-centric today because I'm about a mile right now from the Vanderbilt campus, and Troy plays Vanderbilt, and we've had C.J. Duncan on. Will Purdue.
Oh.
He's still, I see him every once in a while. 7-footer, former Chicago Bull.
Yep.
Purdue and Bill Wennington in the post for the Bulls. He doesn't do enough. And I think it's because he's busy, earning a living and living a life and all that kind of stuff.
I get it.
So I like Will Purdue. I'm a Will Purdue guy.
I made the statement. I said, the Bulls would never be as successful as they are today without Will Purdue. People thought I was crazy.
Will Purdue, Bill Cartwright, Bill Wennington, and Luke Longley, the Aussie. Yeah. Those guys in the middle help free things up. They set picks for MJ, which is something Noah Williamson needs to do for LeBaron Filan.
Yeah. Oh, LeBaron was not happy last night when that guy went the wrong way. He looked at him like, what the hell are you doing?
Now, if John, that's a great example. If John was the color analyst for that game on the SEC network, that point would have been made.
Yeah.
Big as day.
Hey, Barry, I don't have
Guaranteed.
anything against number 15 over here, but, my eye tells me he looks a little lost. He doesn't really look like an SEC caliber player.
There would be a reference to Kalijah the Wooden Indian. It might be a culturally inappropriate reference, but it would be made. There's no doubt.
I don't know what our deal is with commercial breaks. I've kind of lost track. But before we get to the topic wheel, there's one other thing that I wanted to get to before we get to the Gurn Junior Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We should have time. No problem.
Let's do it. Take a break. Back in a moment. Plenty of time. We got 20 minutes left. And Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117. Or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. Okay, everybody, glad you're back with us. 18 minutes to the top of the hour. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Love to have you a part of what we do. You won't miss any of the content. Doesn't cost anything. Just subscribe. And every time we're up, something's posted, you will get a notification. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell all your friends to do it as well. All right, I'm a stickler for the rules. Yeah, really. Hey, don't count that, Danny. And I see where a football panel, NCAA football panel, has proposed some changes in college football for the upcoming year. The targeting. That's a topic that seems to come up every off season. Something, Barry, about maybe 3 levels, or if you commit 3 targeting fouls in a year, you can have some serious penalties. But basically, if you get a targeting in week 1, you can come back and play in week 2. You don't have to sit out the first half. You just come back and play. Yeah. I wonder, though, Barry, if the targeting rule should – the first targeting should they should eliminate being ejected from the game.
Then what they want to do, I mean, they don't want to. They feel like they owe it to them. What they want to do is change behavior to make the penalty severe enough to where you say, man, I have got to I've got to clean up the way I'm doing it. The coaches don't teach it. The coaches don't stress it. Nowadays, it is almost inadvertent. You know, targeting means that you are targeting somebody. I am going to hit them with the crown of my helmet above the shoulders and try to knock them out. Very few people do that anymore. Most of the targeting calls, I think, are inadvertent. The guy's going down, you're full speed, you end up hitting him there. So I don't think it's intentional anymore. I think they've done what they wanted and gotten it mostly out of the game. If you watch some of those 1970s NFL games with the Oakland Raiders, holy smokes, every third play, somebody was getting knocked out. So they've changed the behavior. And nowadays, when it happens, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you on that.
He kind of knows he's targeted. Sometimes his body actions will lead you to believe, I just messed up.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't see it. So, and speaking of the NFL, and I've asked this question before, to my knowledge, Barry, you can target somebody, but they ain't throwing you out of the game. 15-yard penalty, whatever, for automatic first down, the whole deal.
Right.
I've never seen an NFL player ejected from a game for targeting. So I'm not sure that's even. I
can't think of one.
In college, it is, and I get it. I mean, you can get seriously injured, but are we to the point now where you just? And I don't know. I mean, can you do anything more severe than a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down? That's about as. In terms of penalties, that's about as
well
large as it get. I mean, I'm not saying have a 20-yard penalty and 5 downs or whatever.
Here's the most egregious penalty I have seen. In 2010, when an often misidentified Auburn center colludes in a chop block, you call it 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, and then everybody calls your school chop block you for the next 16 years.
Yeah.
That's the only penalty. It happens one time to one particular school, and then they'll live in from that. That's the only bigger penalty that I can think right now. It's like Theotis. Plainsman Preston says, who was that Auburn DB that got a targeting call almost every game? Guaranteed you it happened to him once. And then it happened to him like 4 games later, and that's it. But, yeah, who was that guy? I mean, he got called for targeting. Auburn, man, they chop block every game. Happened one time 16 years ago, and that's
twice
the
in a season.
15
Actually,
yards,
twice. Yeah.
automatic first down, and you're going to hear about it for the rest of your natural life.
I think it was the same player that happened twice in a season. Not back-to-back games, but the guy was called twice in a season.
And for the rest of his life, who was that that got called for targeting every game? I mean, 14 games in a row. It was crazy.
You want to know a proud moment in a father's life, Barry? There are a lot of them. But one of them happened back in December when took the young lads to a Saints game. It was the Saints and the Jets. This was like Saints won the game. It was a big game. And, there was a chop block called on one of the Jet defenders or Jet offensive linemen. And my son looked over at me and said, hey, Dad, in all seriousness, hey, Dad, did that guy for the Jets play at Auburn?
Got a chop block. John had to take a moment. You grow up so fast.
I mean,
all right.
I mean, not even provoked. And he said, that guy played for Auburn. Anyway, I just think the first target, some type of big penalty. I don't think it warrants ejection.
Yeah.
Second in the game, you're ejected. Third, you got some issues you got to deal with. So that's just my 2 cents. Here's another one, Barry. Glad to see it. A dress code. These players aren't coming out there with, footy socks and their shirts hanging out and all this other crap. There's going to be a subcommittee, leg coverings. I think a lot of guys wear half cut off socks or some other kind of sock. The NFL is very stringent about their rules about uniform.
You got to cover everything on your legs. Yeah. Some of the guys get out there, and it is against the rules. Don't they have that is against the rules to come out there? Look, I like Catherine Bach coming out of the General Lee way back when with Tom Wopat and John Schneider and Uncle Jesse, Denver Pyle, wearing those shorts as much as anybody who was 13 years old at the time and raging hormones. I don't like to see those kind of shorts on a running back or a kicker. Cover the knees with your trousers And evidently, it's also a big deal to have socks that go, all the way up to your knees as well. The calf socks, like they say. So they're going to consider mandating that.
Yeah,
just
Steve Sarkisian asked the question, who is going to be the uniform police? Who's going to, make sure they're doing it? Come on, Steve. Come on. Just make sure you do it. Make sure your players are dressing as they should, representing the University of Texas or any other school out there. Yeah.
Now,
don't like shirt tails out. You got to, it's kind of like kids that wear a T-shirt underneath their basketball uniform. Either the whole team does it or you don't. I'm not a big fan of that.
Anybody see the SEC Network thing where they went mic'd live? They mic'd Kirby Smart at practice. He said, tuck your shirt tail in. Tuck your shirt tail in. Shirt tails in. How many times I got to tell you shirt tail in? That would be John Longshore. Hey, tuck your shirt in, man.
Tuck your shirt in.
I also think whoever is the one to fashion police that is the same person who fashion polices Kalen DeBoer on the sidelines in Alabama.
The black hoodie. Yeah.
Because, he's look at him.
You got to get another one.
What's he doing wearing a hoodie? And, come on. So, yeah.
I'm over the hoodie. Kalen, you need to come up with something new. We're done with the hoodies.
No hoodie, no Cliff Eagle sweater. There's standards.
No. Barry, that's a good point. Alabama's had one coach that wore some sweaters that the fans didn't like, and you see what happened to him after his third year. Just letting you know, Caleb.
Cause and effect, yeah.
Just letting you know. All right, my last one, fair catch kicks. A proposal that a team could choose to attempt a kick after a completed or awarded fair catch. This is a rule in the NFL, I believe also in high school.
In high school, yeah. I've seen it in high school.
And then you can try it out there and attempt a kick without a rush, I believe. I think you just kick it.
Yeah, I think there was some kid who kicked like a 60-yarder in Alabama last year, just particularly for that. That's why the team that's trying to run the clock out, and they can't do it, and they've got to punt with like 15 seconds to go. They don't want to punt it. They punt it. Kid fair catches it. Not bad. 40-yard line. Guy trots out there. He can take a run and start, and he can kick a field goal, win the game. That is a high school rule.
Very interesting, and I believe it's in the NFL as well. You can currently do that in the NFL if you get a fair catch. You can either be Barry. This is interesting.
It is true.
You can either place it on a tee or you can drop kick it.
He drop kicked an extra point one time when he was with the Patriots. Quick before we go to break, Theotis says, remember when baseball? When no one in baseball wore long pants except for George Foster, that was George Hendrick. For the St. Louis Cardinals, not George Foster. More in a moment. Our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel is next. Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Oh, we're back.
Here we go.
That was a short break. I was reading about the 3A Boys Championship game being played Friday at the BJCC at 2:15 in the afternoon, where Southside Selma will go up against Montgomery Academy for the 3A title. MA's the defending 3A champ. Hey, Southside Selma's not chopped liver themselves.
They've got a young player
last year.
Yeah, they had. I think it was a freshman last year for Southside. He's a sophomore now. That's yeah. That ought to be good.
Could be a good game.
Likewise, with our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel presented by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. You see the topics. Gurn has figured them all out. Lopsided. That's usually a problem with your urologist, but I'm not sure what this is about.
Ooh, no tag. You got to keep the tag on the mattress. Come on. Can't take the tag. Wait a minute.
The Bengals tried to get away with not using the franchise tag on Trey Henderson, who is a terrific player.
Yeah.
And so he says, I'm out.
I'm out.
You know,
sure.
You know, you can put the franchise tag on somebody, meaning there's restrictions on him leaving. They try to get away with it, mostly because they've got Joe Burrow. But so he's going to make a lot of money. That guy's a terrific player. The Bengals surely needed him, but they're going to finish at the bottom of the heap anyway, with or without him.
All right,
Okay,
5 more to
that's
go.
one
Gurn
in
Jr.
there.
Victoryland 777 topic wheel.
Here we are.
Ooh, all right. Look at that one. Don't know what these are, folks. We're seeing them for the first time, just like you are. Little kid.
Yeah.
Little kid.
Get out of here, kid. You bother me.
Oh.
A baby goat.
Okay.
The Great Pyrenees, which is a mountain range between France and Spain. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that goat. For some reason, goats like to climb up on top of like other goats or cows or horses and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, Great Pyrenees is a
That looks like
dog
a dog
breed.
Yeah.
And the Pyrenees is a dog breed. And so Gurn Jr., who has a he likes these touchy-feely kind of warm, fuzzy things.
Affection for animals. I love it. Yeah, we love
Goat
it.
on a dog, yes.
It's involving a bear, but now we get a goat and a dog. Awesome. Love it.
The bear in the trash can or the bear in the swimming pool is still top shelf content.
Sure. I can't beat that. All right, 4 more to go. I think we can get them all in here.
All right.
Interesting here with lopsided.
Yeah.
Georgia win lopsided last night. Check the stats.
Let's see. Lopsided.
Oh,
yeah. They were horrendous. They were horrendous. This is a Kentucky team that actually had 6 guys on the floor at one time. They had a 12-point lead, again, at Texas A&M. And at the end of the first half and in 7 minutes in the second half, Texas A&M outscored Kentucky 41-10. For Kentucky, you know, if this was, I don't know, John's favorite whipping boy, Abilene Christian or something, but you outscore Kentucky 41-10.
Come on.
Mark Pope is in some serious trouble, and he's a little bit lighter in the wallet for that time when he was screaming at the referees, those bleepity bleepers, you know.
Yeah, what was that, 25 grand? 25
It was at
grand?
least 15, something like that. Yeah, things ain't going well for him. Kentucky will make the tournament because, you know, Kentucky.
They're Kentucky.
But, man, that was embarrassing last night. Texas A&M hadn't been world beaters lately. 41-10. Goodness.
I like my.
I think that was
my guy.
Wasn't that the Indiana-Alabama score in the Rose Bowl?
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. Back at
Truth hurts. All right, here we go. 3 more to go. Blue, yellow, red. Where will it land on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel? Plea.
Who's in trouble now? A poker case, rigged poker games. Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones. They got kicked out of the NBA, and Billups is a Hall of Famer. Billups was a coach. They've had. This is the thing in the NBA. You have some downtime and everything. There's a lot of poker players. They have a lot of like standing poker games. I'm not sure how it works. If you've ever seen the movie, what was it, with Idris Elba and all that about the Molly's Game is what it was called.
Yeah,
I learned a little bit about that. Except with hers, those games were not rigged. These games are rigged.
Yep. There's also another one with Matt Damon called Rounders, which is a good.
With Edward Norton. Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of that.
Yeah,
Another
that's
good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, poker. Not a fan. All right, so there we go.
2 more to go. Blue and red are the last panel standing.
Maybe that'll keep Billups and Jones out of the tank, or maybe not, but they've entered into a plea deal. Shocker.
Shocker.
Oh, yeah, this guy, Drew Dalman, 27. He's retiring. He was really good. 5 years. Offensive line was really good this past year, but all of a sudden he just retires. Caleb Williams, who took his snap, says, man, that was a shocker. He's a Stanford guy, bright guy, probably a great future ahead. And he just doesn't want to deal with all of the pain and pounding
Sure.
and injuries and travel, all that stuff. If you can, a center is almost like a guard in that nobody ever hears anything about you until you have a bad snap.
Correct.
Or something like that.
And, heck, if he's socked away some cash, why not?
Hey, more power to you. Yeah, that is a shocker. He's 27. And he's already retiring. Still golden.
Still golden after all these
ratings
years.
In again?
Oh,
yeah.
Sure they are. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right. The Sabres.
Tage Thompson. Sabres win. Buffalo Sabres beat the Vegas Golden Knights.
Still golden.
Yeah, one of the guys for the American team. Oh, there Sabres on the left, Golden Knights on the right. There's been tributes all throughout the NHL for the American men's hockey team for winning the gold medal, except they're not going on in Winnipeg or Toronto or Edmonton or something
Probably
like
not.
Because you beat the Canadians to do it, and they're not real happy about
They're not.
But hey,
they're not happy about that. No.
Anytime you get a chance or an excuse to raise the good old stars and stripes, it's all right with these two boys right here. Yeah.
All right, Barry. It's a great day with CJ Duncan from Yellow Hammer News joined us today. Josh Harris, under the weather, will join us on Friday, I believe. But tomorrow, it is Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com. Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market.
I will be back in my home studio tomorrow. Again, Troy Baseball this afternoon, 3 o'clock. Check it out if you can. For our producer, Gurn Jr., John Longshore, Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.